you tired of being overcharged and forced into paying a monthly subscription for your Mac and Windows software? Well, if you are, currently we're having a 50% off discount on all the latest Mac and Windows software, such as AutoCAD, SolidWorks, Photoshop, Microsoft Office, and much more. Our 50% off discount will be ending soon, so be sure to text us ready to buy to 213-640-9738. That's 213-640-9738. We aim to please, so expect 24/7 technical support, the latest premium software, instant software links delivered to your email, and PayPal buyer's protection guarantee.
Boom. There it is. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a little late, but I'm here. I'm a little late, but I'm here. Relatively on time. My bad. Relatively on time. But what's up? We're here. Everybody come on in here. Damn, it's cold in here. My hands are cold. Make sure I ain't ashy than a motherfucker. All right, what's up, man? We're here. All right, what's going on, guys? How's everybody doing this lovely evening? Glad y'all here. The museum tickets didn't go up yet. They're going to go up this week. They are definitely going to go up this week. The museum tickets for the special grand opening private party will be up this week, ladies and gentlemen, all right? Y'all will stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody said the volume is low. How's the volume, guys? Let me test my volume real quick. Hold on. Everybody doing this lovely evening? No, my volume is perfect. I just tested it. So somebody, you trying to watch the broadcast on a 2013 Dell computer. So that's the problem. Y'all look at, you say I got a Crown Royal bag. Look at my, oh, what y'all know about this? Shout out to the brothers who sent me this. Y'all look at I had to put on my velvet. Somebody sent me this, man. Shout out to the brothers who sent me this. I know I look like a giant Crown Royal bag, but it's real Mac-ish. You know, I get, people send me a lot of stuff. People send me a whole bunch of stuff, ladies and gentlemen. And some brothers who got a clothing company, what they call Black Cornerstone Clothing Company.com. Black Cornerstone Clothing Company.com. These brothers sent me a bunch of suits. And I think these brothers might be some former pimps because everything is extra pimpish. Everything is extremely pimpish. It's like a tank top that's velvet with silk on it and diamonds. They sent me a whole bunch of real pimpish casual outfits. But I'm rocking it though. I like this. It's kind of Mac-ish. Look at it. It's real Mac-ish. Shout out to them. This is called, this one is called Peacemaker. Yeah. So shout out to them brothers. Shout out to them. I think they're out here in LA, by the way, too. I think they sent me like a pullover shirt. I was gonna wear that, but then I'd be looking like a Hebrew Israelite in here. But this is Mac-ish. I like this. I like the vibe. It's different. I like the flavor for it. I like it. Shout out to them brothers. Shout out to them brothers. And I think they got a booth at the swap meet out here, I think. All right. Everybody, we're going to have a deep conversation tonight. We're going to have a deep conversation. Yeah, the sleeves are on point. Yeah, they got this thing looking real Mac-ish. They got it looking real Mac-ish. But listen, we're going to get deep tonight. We're going to get deep tonight. All right? We're going to get deep tonight. We're going to talk about some history. We're going to really get into some stuff really about what's happening down there in Memphis. We're going to get into that. What I need y'all to do before we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to need you guys to first hit that like button. If you haven't hit the like button, everybody, let's stop what you're doing. All the people in here, hit the like button. I need you to do 3 things. Number 1, hit the like button. Number 2, hit the subscribe button if you have not subscribed to the broadcast. I don't see y'all hitting them likes. Hit the likes. I see almost 2,000 people in here. That's 400 likes. Y'all need to be hitting those likes. Hit the likes. Hit the likes. We're just getting started. Hit the likes. Second, hit that subscribe button. And then the bell notification so that you'll be notified when I'm live. Third, I'm going to need you to retweet the link to this. So you see the share button right there? You see that share button? I need you to hit that share button and then retweet this right now to let everybody know that we're live right now. All right? Let everybody know that we're live. Because we got a lot to talk about tonight. And by the way, I know a lot of people are waiting on the museum tickets. That will go up this week. And remember, you got to get your tickets very fast. It's going to be a limited amount of people we're letting in. Okay? It's going to be a limited amount of people that we're going to let in. So you got to get your tickets very fast. This is the hottest ticket in town. It's going to be the hottest event in LA. All right? We're getting everything popping. Everything is going to be off the chain on February 25th. Saturday, February 25th. We're having a screening of the movie American Maroon. American Maroon will be available on the streaming site, FBA Stream, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be available on the streaming site on February 27th, okay? But you want to see it in person. If you're out here, you're going to get to see it in person. It's going to be on the FBA Stream on the 27th. But you get to see it in person here. We're going to have an intimate screening, dinner, turn up, museum grand opening. It's going to be off the chain. I think Brother Kaba's coming out. I want to double check. It's going to be popping, ladies and gentlemen. So your lady said I got on a Mink slide tracksuit. Yeah, it feels real Mink slide-ish. All right. Checking in from San Diego. Shout out to San Diego. All right. But I'm going to keep you guys posted, man. We've been getting stuff ready for the museum for everybody, man. We've been just really working hard, getting everything together. You know, what's interesting, at the museum, I've been employing a lot of Black people from the neighborhood, from the community. So many skilled brothers and sisters that we've been hiring to come in and do work. My electrician, got a Black brother from the neighborhood he's an electrician. Brother Antonio, shout out to Antonio, who's a locksmith. He's been doing some of the locks and fixing some of the doors. Rolando, he does a lot of the fixing up of the chairs and stuff like that, assembling a lot of stuff. So we got a lot of brothers and sisters from the community who's been working on the museum, getting everything together. Now, we do have a couple of, sometimes you got to outsource, some of the painters, or we got a couple of Hispanic painters who did a great job. Who did a great job. The other day, one of my guys, Rolando, he wasn't available. Well, he wasn't available early, because usually I like to get stuff done early at the museum so that I can leave early and avoid traffic, because traffic coming back home is a bitch. So I try to beat that 5 o'clock traffic. And my main guy who does assembly stuff in the museum, he wasn't going to be available until like 4 or 5 or something. So I'm like, I got to get somebody else. So I had to kind of look online, and I found this only person who was available was this white dude. But whatever, you come and get this, whoever, just come get it done. So the white guy came up, and this guy reminded me of a real life Scooter the Shooter. I almost filmed him, but I'm like, I'm not going to do that. That would be kind of invasive. I almost filmed this dude. He was so funny. This dude looked and sounded like Scooter the Shooter, guys. I'm not bullshitting you. And the guy, he came there. He came to the museum. And, it's very Black. There's images of just blackness all over. So he came in with his toolbox and everything. Hey, it's like a Black history store or something. Am I allowed to be here? Yeah, yes, you're allowed to be here. Why wouldn't you be allowed to be here? Oh, I didn't know. Let me ask any white people. White people, let me ask y'all this. Some of the white listeners. And it's not anything violent. I just got a bunch of Black people in the museum. It's not even anything violent or scary. Why does just a lot of Blackness scare you? Well, what is that about? What is that about? It makes you know. I think just they don't have they get around blackness as long as they psychologically prepare for it. When it just springs up on you, it throws them off. I think that's what it is. It throws them off. See, they don't mind going to something black as long as they prepare for it. We're going to go down to Roscoe's. You know, they have to prepare for it psychologically. So when it's sprung on you, it's like, oh God, am I safe in here? Is that type of vibe? Like, no, you're all right. So then, you know, he does the work. It was real quick, some real simple stuff, and then they have to start splaining. And I think we're gonna get a lot of this. I hope we don't, but you know, whatever. If you want to, whatever y'all want to do, everybody's welcome to the museum. Let me say that everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome to the museum, and whatever you feel on your spirit, you can get it out. But you know, you already know how they. You know, he finished doing the work, and he was like, you know, Tariq, I don't have a racist bone in my body. Oh, okay, here we go. Okay. You know, my family, I grew up in Michigan. My family they were kind of bigoted. Okay, here we go. Okay. Y'all don't have to explain. Here we go. All right. Yeah, Tariq, I grew up in Michigan. My family's kind of bigoted, man. But listen, you know, I wasn't like that, dude. I didn't want to be like my parents, my family, dude. All my brothers were black. I was into hip hop really heavy. I loved Eminem, and that was our liaison to the hip hop culture, man. I really love your culture, dude. Okay, all right. Okay. Y'all don't have to explain. Y'all really don't have to explain. Y'all don't. And he just got so deep with it, you know. Looking at the pictures over there, see Harriet. Is that Harriet Tubman? You know, Tariq, my family gave runaway slaves food on the Underground Railroad, dude. I say, hey man, I got a call. I got a meeting. Yeah, they're about to come with the confessions. Okay, got it. Okay. All right. I got a meeting, sir. Thank you so much for your okay, but listen, man, you rock. Your culture rocks, dude. Black Lives Matter, buddy. Oh, y'all don't you ain't gotta do all that. Y'all really don't. You really don't have to do all that, guys. Just come on in and enjoy it. We're gonna get a bunch of that. So let me So listen, guys, when y'all come to the museum, let me say this, brothers, my FB, if y'all come to the museum and there's some people who want to confess, just be nice, okay? Be cordial, all right? Let me say that, just be cordial. Let them get it off their spirit, all right? Just y'all be nice. If they all come to the museum and somebody wants to confess to you, let them get it off their chest, all right? Let it. We're all in this together. We're all. Just be nice and let them get it off their spirit. All right, if they want to get it off, I really don't have time. I'm a little busy, but why don't y'all sit down with them and talk to them? Oh God, the splaining. Oh goodness. Yeah. So it's gonna be a lot of that, y'all. I see. It's going to be a lot of that at the museum, all right? It's going to be a lot of that. I already see it. Oh, yeah, it's going to be, oh, I got a cousin who's mulatto. Yeah, I think we need to put a confession room in there or something where they can just go in there and purge the guilt. Okay, all right. Yeah, they're going to be purging the guilt to you guys. So, okay. But listen. Yeah, we're going to have a confession box. Yeah. When my dude said his family gave slaves food on the Underground Railroad, I said, I have a 3 o'clock, sir. But thank you. I appreciate you coming. Yes, that's enough for me. That's enough for me. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Okay, I'll let you go, dude. Oh, boy, I was about to record. I said, let me not do that. Let me not do that. Let me not. I don't want to be. No, let me not do that. Because I want people to come in. I don't want people to feel like they're being put out there. So I gotta think like a business owner. All right. I gotta think like a business. I can't be filming customers. So he could have been a potential. He wasn't. He was working, but But listen. Let's get into what we're getting into. We almost got 5,000 people in here. Let me get a sip of this drizzle. Oh, man. So listen, what we're talking about, the situation down there in Memphis. All right? Everybody's talking about the situation in Memphis with those killer Sambos down there who killed our brother Tyree. They beat a brother to death. And right now, what's interesting, it was 4 black officers. Actually, it was more than that. But it was the 4 black officers who's being emphasized on, and they're the ones being charged. All right? Yeah, R.I.P. to Ricky Smiley's son. I heard Ricky Smiley's son died, and Ricky's my guy. I've been on Ricky Smiley's radio show a few times, and shout out to Ricky. So condolences to Ricky's family. But listen. Down in Memphis, they're not mentioning the white cop. When you look at the video, and I'm not going to show I ain't showing none of that stuff because I'm not going to get into snuff filmisms when it comes to us. But the first thing I noticed in the video, the person recording, it was a white arm. The person who was filming the body cam, showing everything and doing the tasing and all of this stuff, there's a white arm. There's a white dude. I'm like, hey. Immediately it was a white dude. I said, hey, how come this dude, whoever this white arm belongs to, how come they're not in the mugshots? That's the first thing. I picked that up very quickly. How come this guy ain't in the mugshots? He's the main one in the mix. So, the filming of the beating came out, and what's interesting, there was a camera from another angle just getting a wide shot of it, and that was the nail in the coffin. Because they could have got away with the body cam. They could have got away. They could have just remixed the story. They could have said, well, you couldn't see it on camera, but we were being headbutted. He was resisting arrest, and he was doing this, he was doing that. But with that wide shot, you couldn't do that. Yeah, the white cop had the taser. Did y'all not know that? Did y'all not know that there was a white cop involved? Hell, even the dad, even Brother Tyree's dad said something about that white cop. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Where's that clip of the dad? Y'all bear with me. Here's his dad. This is Tyree's dad. And he mentioned, hey, how come, there's a white cop here. We focusing on these black dudes. What's up with the white cop? Hold on. This is Tyree's dad. Hold on.
There was a white officer that was tasing my son.
Yep.
And we don't understand how come his name was not put out there or mentioned in this whole fiasco.
The media's not talking about it either. It's very odd.
I think that there should be quite a few additional charges.
Yeah, so the dad is like, hell, y'all parading these black dudes out. Those white dudes need to be charged too. Shout out to the dad. The dad is on code. Shout out to the dad. Oh, yeah. The white cop tased them first. They're protecting the white cops. And what they're doing now, the media is going overboard, making the black dudes the new faces of police brutality. That's the new con that they're going to try to run now. Didn't somebody from Biden's White House come out and speak out against that? When have you ever seen that? When did Biden, his people, ever come out and speak out against a damn police killing like that? You there? Hold on, let me see if I can find that clip of Biden's people speaking out against that. Hold on. Where we at? Come on. Hold on 1 second. Where's that clip, guys? Hold on. I think Biden just called. Yeah, Biden called the family. They had Benjamin Crump there. So they're going to try to get some political mileage out of it. Hold on.
Your comment.
Okay. Well, yeah. When does Biden speak out against this stuff? Yeah, here's Biden right here. Look at this stuff here. When does Biden speak out against a damn police killing? Hold on. My heart goes out to Tariq Nichols, the family and the Americans in Memphis across the country who are grieving. Man, when the hell has Biden spoke out against a police killing, especially this fast? Now that the perps are black, so now all of these people are coming out. Oh yeah, this is horrible. Oh, this police violence is crazy as long as they can put a black face on the police violence. They never speak out. These people don't say nothing about no damn police violence when it's whites beating up on black folks. Now that they can put a black face on it, all of a sudden they're going to go out here and run with it because now they got to be extra with it because they got to now make the face of police violence these black faces. So now whenever they talk about all of these police killings, they're going to prop these guys up as the poster children for it now. Did Trump speak out too? Really? I didn't even know he did it. Really? So yeah, all this is them getting on code. They're going to make these black dudes the poster children for police brutality. So now they can say, hey, it's not about race. Look at those guys. Oh, you can't say it's white supremacy. Oh, no. Look at those guys right there. Oh, this ain't about no race. Biden spoke out against George Floyd. Yeah, after some riots were popping. After the riots popped off. Yeah, he spoke out when there were riots all over the place. But hell, with this one, there was no need for any riots because these guys immediately got punished. They got fired. They immediately got charged. So there was really no need for people to hit the streets. But they were trying to encourage people to hit the streets. You dig? They were trying to encourage people to hit the streets. So now the narrative that they're trying to flip now is to say, well, this ain't white supremacy. This is just bad apples in the police. No. This is still white supremacy. And now you got some people on the right who's really trying to flip it and spin it and trying to pretend that this is some type of gang situation. Now, this woman right here, she's some kind of, where is she? Oh, what did I do? All right, this woman here, some kind of right-wing shill, Lauren Witzke, whatever her name is. We're investigating a tip that 3 of the 5 officers in the Memphis beating of Tariq Nichols were members of the Vice Lords and under their direction. Get the hell out of here. This is cap. Other gang-directed beatings were reportedly found on their phones. Cap. According to our sources, who they just made up, they're somehow hired because the standards have dropped since police departments have had a hard time hiring due to the Black Lives Matter movement. If y'all don't stop, they're trying to act like they're affirmative action hires. Update, allegedly, there's a bonding company in Chattanooga that many believe is financially backed by the Vice Lords. Huge bonds are being made by this one company for this certain gang. They have members working as jail officers as well. They have people everywhere. So now they're trying to flip this like the Vice Lords are secretly funding those Negroes who beat up Tariq. Do you know how much of a cap that is? You know how much of a horse crap piece of filth lie that is? Stop it. So this is them trying to make it seem there's a shadowy black organization that has gang members in law enforcement doing these beatings. So it ain't white supremacy, it's the gang members. Oh, I'm not going to, Jason Whitlock, I'm not going to get, he had to throw his coon set in. He had to throw his in talking about the problem. It's these black men who beat the Tyree up is because of the violence in the black community, black male violence and single mothers, and the police chief is a single mother. And He just went full coon, but he's doing the dirty work of the white supremacists. He's just saying what they told him to say. Yeah, the vice lords don't operate. We already know that. They were just like in Baltimore when they were trying to say that the Crips and the Bloods were going to start targeting cops, and they had to pull out all of those military-grade weapons out there in Baltimore during the Freddie Gray situation. That was all cap. They had to fess up and say, oh, yeah, we lied about that, which I knew that was a lie. I was out there in Baltimore when that was going down. You in? But listen, these folks are trying to make, we got 6K in here. We need to get like 10,000 people in here. We need to get like 10,000 people in here, ladies and gentlemen. But listen. These folks are trying to make these black officers the face of police brutality now. They're trying to make them the face of it. And these officers, now let's because I put up a tweet the other day that went viral. I said, hey, I'm getting some non-FBA vibes from some of these dudes. Some of them might be FBA, but I'm still getting some non-FBA vibes. There's some tethers who got mad when I said that. I stand on that. I'm standing on that. Now, could some of them be FBA? Yeah, we got coons within our society. We're calling all of them out. And if there's some tethers in the mix, we're going to call them out too. A lot of us are getting tether vibes from a couple of these dudes. Those niggas got FBA names. No, they got English names. All right? Don't play that game just because their name is not Babatunde or whatever. Some of these Negroes could be Caribbean. All right? Some of them are saying, well, they're all from Memphis. Ain't no Caribbean population in Memphis, but all of them niggas are not from Memphis. All right? Let's get this thing straight. All of these dudes are not from Memphis. Some of these dudes came in from other places. They brought them in from other places. Some of these dudes could very well be Caribbean. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like this dude here, this Desmond Mills guy. Look at the head on this dude. That's not an FBA head. Look at this dude. Desmond Mills Jr. Either his last name is Ainsworth or his middle name is Ainsworth. That sounds like some Caribbean stuff right there. His head, and he lived in Connecticut. This dude is not from Tennessee. Hold on. That head ain't FBA. I'm going there. Yes, I'm going there. Desmond Ainsworth Mills Jr. He owns a company registered in Memphis. He lived in different parts of Connecticut, including Hartford. Hartford, Connecticut is full of immigrants, guys. Hartford, Connecticut is full of immigrants. He's a former jailer in Tennessee and Mississippi. He previously lived in Bangor, Maine. This dude might be an immigrant. This smells like immigrant, guys. All right? And then he became a part of the Scorpion unit. Okay, so I'm telling you. So yeah, all of these dudes are not even from the South. These dudes are coming up there from these enclaves where there are a bunch of damn immigrants up there. And this dude's head, I smell Bammy. I smell some Bammy and oxtails, dude. While you playing, I smell some Aki and saltfish. Yeah, y'all better do some investigating with these people. Yeah, all of these dudes are not from Memphis. These dudes are from these little enclaves up here in Maine and Connecticut where there's a whole bunch of immigrants. You ain't a bunch of FBAs up in no damn Maine. Come on. I smell some festival bread. Yeah? Come on. But I digress as far as that. Don't want to get too deep in that, but I'm just saying, where do they get these dudes from? Where do they get them from to be that cold and that heinous? But listen, they got an organization out here called Scorpion. Now they're about to disband that. So the Memphis Police Department, they had something called Scorpion, and you got to watch. What does Scorpion stand for? I forgot what it stands for. Something about crime, whatever. But these cities out here with black populations and the police, they get these funds allocated to them to create these little subunits within the police department. And these subunits with these weird acronyms are always used to subjugate and suppress the black community. Almost always. Okay? Always. Somebody asked the question on Twitter. All right? What's this guy? Let me show this tweet this guy made. This guy right here. And he's one of these ass kissers. His question was kind of in bad faith. Can somebody explain to me logically how 5 black officers killing a black man is white supremacy? All right. So yeah, they're already trying to explain. Let me tell you something. The killing of Tyree Nichols, those race soldiers beating on him, that was 100% white supremacy. It was white supremacy all day, because it was the white supremacist power structure that created that police unit, that allocated the resources to them and trained them and incentivized them to go out there and terrorize the black community. That's 100% white supremacy. When you look at the video of them dudes beating Tyree, these dudes were very comfortable doing it. They were high-fiving each other. This was something that they were used to doing. They didn't feel like they would get reprimanded. They got reprimanded and caught because somebody outside filmed the situation. They filmed it from afar so you can get the full brunt of what was happening. So when you see people say stuff like, well, these guys got hired because the police department lowered their standards. I keep hearing that narrative from a lot of these right-wingers. Well, they got hired because the police had to lower their standards. What's the standards to become a police officer? What standards? All you need is a high school diploma. You don't need no standards. What do they mean by that? Let me tell you what they mean. When they say that, the standards they mean, they meant that white cops are better at hiding the abuse. That's what they mean. When they say that, the narrative is these Negroes are too dumb to hide the abuse, which is true. The white cops who abuse black people, they know how to do it in a way where they can justify it legally. When they're beating on a black person, the white cops will scream out, "Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Stop resisting!" You know, they know all the little tactics. They go to these little training sessions and they learn what to say when you're beating a black person, how to hit them, where to hit them, when you turn your camera off, how to block. Everybody circles around and then you don't see what's going on. You dig what I'm saying? When they say that these dudes weren't really qualified, that just means they were just too sloppy. They weren't as thorough as the white dudes. Because these Negroes were just passing the brother around, hitting them. This was some kind of Guantanamo Bay type of torture, which can't be justified. Yeah? You dig? Yeah, Chabin wasn't smart enough either. That's why he was a white sacrifice. See, they'll do a white sacrifice. He's a white sacrifice. They'll charge one white dude to the game because of all the riots that were going on. They said, hey, you know what? This is causing billions of dollars worth of damage. Let's just, we're going to have to take an L with Chabin. They fought to the end. Billions of dollars of damage was done. The reputation of the U.S. was janky in the international eyes. They said, hey, you know what? We gotta charge him to the game. It's a white sacrifice. Yeah. Desmond Mills sounds like a Jamaican name, don't it? Desmond Ainsworth Mills. That sounds like a Jamaican name. Speaking of these guys, notice a lot of people from Memphis, people in Memphis don't know these dudes. Where are my Memphis people? These black officers, a lot of people in Memphis don't know these dudes. Nobody, I'm not seeing a lot of people in Memphis like, yeah, I went to school with this nigga, I hung out with him. People know each other, man. Don't nobody in Memphis know them dudes. Let's keep it a buck. If something like this happens, usually you have a lot of people coming out. Hey, I knew this dude. I used to work with him. I know this guy. He's my neighbor. I know him. I kicked it with him. Whoop-de-whoop. Desmond is a common Caribbean name. Right. But nobody in Memphis knows these guys. Nobody's claiming, hey, I kicked it with these dudes. Nobody knows these dudes in Memphis, man. Nobody knows. Yeah? So let's be real. They get these kind of dudes. They bring them in from all different places. Don't nobody really know them like that. You dig? Because let me tell you something. They get these dudes that don't nobody really know like that, because if they're running around in the neighborhood terrorizing people, if somebody knows these guys, somebody will eventually get at them. You understand what I'm saying? If there's some people who knows these dudes, and Memphis is kind of a small, close-knit place, so people know each other. If you got some dudes out here who are race soldiers and they're black and they're terrorizing people, somebody's going to be like, hey, man, I'm going to have to get at your family if you keep spazzing out on the community. Somebody will get at them. You know? I'm telling you how they set these cops up. They bring them out here and they get somebody who ain't from the community. They will get somebody who's from the community. You're not from the community of Memphis beating somebody in the streets like that. You're not from the community. You understand? You're not from that community pulling a stunt like that. You feel me? But look, with that Scorpion thing, they've been doing stuff like that for the longest. Let's get deep for a minute. We got 7,000 people. We're in here heavy. Let's get deep. Family, this whole thing where they've gotten these officers and they've created these little Gestapo units to terrorize black society, that started heavily in the late 60s. All right, let's go back. Let's do some history here. After the Watts riots out here in Los Angeles, they created SWAT. All right? They created SWAT. And that was Daryl Gates. Everybody, where are my LA people? You're from LA, you know about Daryl Gates. They've always had these the Scorpion. That was the name of the little police unit that they had terrorizing, beating that brother. It was called Scorpion. And what they do, they create these little sub task force within law enforcement that's usually allocated with federal dollars. I'm going to break all that down in a second. And they have more leeway to kind of do harm to the community. They have more federal leeway. I'm going to give y'all some game here where y'all see these little crazy little organizations that pop up. I want y'all to always keep your eyes open. When you hear about some new task force, they had another one out. I'm going to break all of it down. Let me break it down. First, they started with SWAT. After the Watts riots. They needed SWAT. SWAT stands for Special Weapons and Tactics, but initially, Chief Daryl Gates, he wanted to call it Special Weapons and Targeting. Special Weapons and Targeting. All right? That's what it was supposed to be called with Chief Daryl Gates. And it started after the Watts riot. Why? Because one thing during the Watts riot, one thing that threw them off, they said the problem was with the Watts riot, it wasn't like the typical mob like you saw down in Selma. Like in the 1960s, what black people would do, they would just get all together in one big group. No, you know what? I said it wrong. It wasn't special weapons and targeting. No, it wasn't. Let me clear that up. Let me clear something up. Daryl Gates wanted the word SWAT to mean Special Weapons Attack Team. That's what it was. My bad. Let me get it right. It wasn't Special Weapon and Targeting. It was Special Weapons Attack Team. That's what Chief Daryl Gates wanted to call SWAT. They told him, no, that's not going to sound right, bro. Yeah, Special Weapons Attack Team. They said, Daryl Gates, nah, that sounds too much like what it is, so we got to kind of mask it. We can't be that blatant with it. We can't be that blatant with it. So listen, they said we're going to call it Special Weapons and Tactics, but it was called Special Weapons Attack Team. And who were they going to attack? They were going to attack the black community, which is what it was for. And the reason why they needed to create SWAT is because in LA, the brothers didn't do like they did in Selma and Alabama and all that. They weren't just walking in one group being attacked. They were using guerrilla warfare tactics during the Watts riot. And they were saying, hey, man, these black folks were kind of attacking the police from all sides. They didn't know what was hitting them. The police were getting hit from everywhere. So there wasn't a centralized target to go after. So they said, that's a problem. We got to regroup. We got to regroup with this thing. Yeah, Daryl Gates, if you're from LA, you know how evil he was. Yeah? What the hell is this? Okay. Sorry about that. Hold on. Y'all know how evil Daryl Gates was. Hold on. 1 second. Hold on. Museum stuff. Sorry, guys. Okay, sorry about that. Some museum stuff. Some people are doing some work for me. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, and shout out to everybody hitting the cash app. Shout out to her. So anyway, listen. So they needed to create SWAT to stop the guerrilla warfare tactics that the brothers were employing. So now listen. In 1968, federal government, they came out with a document. This was in June of 1968. All right? In June 1968, I want to say, was it Nixon administration? But they came out with a document, and let me see if I can pull it up here real quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Where's the document? All right. It was called the Crime Control and Safe Streets Act. This was in June of 1968. I'm going to show you guys this. This was in June. The Crime Control and Safe Streets Act. So the federal government started allocating money to a lot of local police departments. They were getting all of these federal dollars to create these little Gestapo units. Why did they do this in June 1968? This is because in April of 1968, the black community, the foundational black community in America, shut this damn country down and forced them to pass equal civil rights bills. This happened right after the death of Dr. King. When they murdered Dr. King, black people took to the streets in this country and shut things down. They put in so much work in this country, and that's never talked about. We actually talk about it in the new movie American Maroon. But family, black people went around the country sniping people, burning stuff down, attacking folks in the dominant society. Black folks were putting in work during what's called Hell Week. They call it Hell Week now. That week in April after Dr. King was killed, 7 days later, LBJ had to push through the Civil Rights Act, the Fair Housing Act, the Fair Employment Act. You had to make everything equal. The black community forced that on the U.S. government. They had no choice. Black people, particularly foundational black Americans, forced the U.S. government to make equal laws, equal housing for everybody. You had to take away all of this discrimination signs, all of it. It was black people who did that. And it wasn't black people getting beat up doing it. They want you to think that people like John Lewis got that stuff passed because white people felt bad about whooping his ass. That ain't true. Black people took to the streets of this country and scared the hell out of white society, and they didn't know what to do. So they said, okay, we concede. We got to take it in. We got to push this past. That's the only reason the civil rights declarations got passed. That's the only reason we got equal housing and all of that stuff now. So they had to get revenge. They said, hey, we can't have black people pulling up on us like this. We can't have the black community, these foundational black Americans rolling up on, forcing us to push legislation like this. We can't have that. So they said, hey, we're going to have to get codified. So let's start talking about attack on crime, which is black people. So they pushed that bill to federally incentivize different states to create all these little crime units, and these crime units were designed specifically to suppress black society, right? One of the earliest ones, 1971, it was one in Detroit called Stress. And Stress was like safe streets for everybody, something like that. Something like, well, let me pull something up. But they had something in Detroit. And what they were doing, they had a lot of white cops on these little task force organizations. All right? And what happened was white people were out here going undercover. They would have white people go undercover, and they would act like homeless people. They would act like just regular civilians, and then just come up with some kind of weird way to harm black people, hem black people up. They were out here ambushing black people. The first year of Stress in Detroit, they killed like 15 black people. They would just put plainclothes cops out here, and if they thought a crime was about to be committed, they just kill them. You would have plainclothes cops ambushing black people in Detroit under the Stress program. Yeah? Here's some stuff you can read about Stress. All right? The creation of Stress. The Stop the Robberies, Enjoy Safe Streets. That's what it was called. It was a specialized tactical unit introduced by Detroit Police Department Commissioner John Nichols, approved by Roman Gribbs in 1971. It said they would deploy undercover cops for surveillance and decoy operations to deter street crime. So a crime wasn't really happening. So they would go around Detroit and nobody would commit a crime, but they would kind of create a situation where somebody would react and then they would kill them. So they were ambushing black people. So the problem was, hold on. Hold on one second. Sorry about this, guys. All right. So they were going out here just ambushing black people, man. In Detroit, they were just ambushing black people left and right. So the black people, and what happens when they do this type of stuff, when they create these little janky-ass task force agencies, what happens is you can only suppress us for so long. We're going to react and retaliate at some point. The community is going to retaliate. It happens every time. They're going to retaliate at some point. So they kept doing these undercover hits on random black people. So black people started fighting back. So a couple of black people out of Detroit, they started hijacking planes. They started hijacking planes and then holding the city for ransom. They'd hijack a plane. It was like two people hijacked planes directly because of the Stress unit. There was one brother who got harassed by the Stress cops. They tried to falsely accuse him of raping white women. So this dude was like, man, fuck all this. So the brother and an accomplice, they hijacked a plane, ransomed the U.S. government for like $2 million. Then they got the plane in the air. They threatened to crash the plane in a nuclear reactor down in Memphis, I think. I think it was somewhere down in Tennessee. I think it was in Memphis, actually. There was some kind of nuclear plant down there. They were about to crash the plane in the nuclear plant if they didn't get $2 million. So Nixon had to allocate $2 million for these dudes. They got the money. Then they went down to Cuba. And they kind of got hemmed up in Cuba. And there was another family who got tired of the police brutality in Detroit. They hijacked a plane, ransomed the city of Detroit and the U.S. government for $1 million, got the plane, went to Algeria, over there with Eldridge Cleaver and the Black Panthers. They went over there, and then they ended up going to France, and they stayed in France for a long time. So people were taking these drastic measures in retaliation. People felt, well, we ain't got nothing to lose. We might as well go for broke. And at the time when they were hijacking these planes, I want y'all to understand, there was a time when you could just walk on a plane with a gun. in the early days of commercial airlining, you could just you didn't have to go through any screenings to get on a plane. They didn't pat you down or anything. Catching a plane was just like catching a bus. And they didn't, y'all better look up what I'm saying. Anybody can get on a plane. They didn't really screen you. And they didn't want to do that because they thought screening people would deter folks from wanting to get on planes. And there were a lot of hijacking and skyjackings in the late 60s, early 70s. A few white dudes hijacked some planes and skyjacked. But when the brothers started doing it, that's when they started doing police, airport security. When these brothers in Detroit started hijacking planes and hitting the government up for $2 million and $1 million here, that's when the FAA, the airline industry had to say, okay, look, we got to have mandatory screening. That's why we have to have mandatory screening now, because the black folks who got tired of the police brutality, they started jacking planes, hitting the cities up for ransom, and getting the hell out the country. All right? That's why you have to start, that's when they had to start screening. Before then, they didn't have to screen. So you had stress, and they had to disband stress. And there were organizations in Detroit calling for the disbandment of stress. All right? Well, let me show y'all some of the archival footage of stress. Where's that stuff? Where's that stuff? Where's that stuff? Where's that stuff? Well, I'm trying to find y'all, just trying to show y'all some of the images of it. Stress, yeah. So you had some of this, you had a whole movement in Detroit, abolish stress. All right, where at? Come on, man. All right. So yeah, you had documents in the underground organizations, Rise Up Detroit, abolish stress, because they were just known for ambushing people. So there was a big movement to abolish stress. And it was just costing the country so much. You can only take so much brutality. So then they started doing the same thing in other cities. Out in Los Angeles, they created, in the late 70s, around 1979, they created the crash unit. Where are my LA people? Now, y'all, if you from LA, you know about crash. You know what the hell crash was about. All right? All my LA people, if you grew up out here in the 80s, you are very well familiar with crash. All right? They had the crash units out here, and the acronyms was, before crash, it was trash. It was something against, I forgot what the acronyms were. It was supposed to be to deter gangs. The name of the game was to deter the gangs. And it was get rid of, let me look up the acronyms of what crash means before I forget. Let me give you all the right and exact. Hold on. Let me tell you what crash meant. Community resources against street hoodlums. That's what it meant. All right. Crash means community resources against street hoodlums. All right. So this started in 1979. All right. Again, Daryl Gates, he's always in the mix. So they had the crash units out here in LA. And they had leeway to go a little bit extra than the regular police officers. And the name of the game, what they did, they had to get Tom Bradley. They got a black mayor, and you watch it, when they get a black mayor to be the face of it, yeah, against street hoodlums. Now, who are the street hoodlums? You know who the street hoodlums were. Yeah, it was called trash at first, then they had to change it. That sounded too derogatory. Yeah? So they had Tom Bradley, the black mayor. They always got to put a Sambo in the mix. And crash, as you know, out here in LA, it was filled with corrupt cops. So the first round of them were white cops. And if you lived out here in the 80s, you remember, it was the crash units that was running up in everybody's houses with them batarams. Remember? Where are my people out here in LA from the 80s? And y'all remember they were running up and going people's houses at 6 in the morning, battering their door down with tanks. These niggas were running around South Central LA with tanks, dude. With militarized tanks. This wasn't from the federal government. These were from the city. But the federal government allocated that money to them. You dig? They were running up in people's homes with batarams. Y'all look at the movie Straight Outta Compton. They had a beautiful scene that our brother F. Gary Gray directed. That opening scene of Straight Outta Compton when Easy was doing that drug deal and then the bataram came and ran in the house. Yeah? But that bataram thing was very, very real. And what happened was, and let me show y'all this. This is from the archives of the LA Times. This gives you an example of what was a daily occurrence in LA. That's an LAPD armored vehicle. And they just run up in your house, even if it's the wrong house. A lot of times it was the wrong house. They were terrorizing the black community in LA. And what happened? We got fed up. 1992, it was on and popping. The riots out here. We gave them $1 billion bill. Enough of this. The black folks in LA said enough is enough. We ain't going to just keep taking abuse now. We're not going to take abuse. We're not just going to be ran down. Y'all not just going to run up. If we ain't got nothing to lose, we might as well go for broke, man. That was the mentality. Y'all just running up in our houses with tanks? Hey, we might as well put in some work. So the LA riots popped off, and then they got a little act right. So then they had to revamp Crash. Follow where I'm going. See, then in the 90s, this is what they had to start doing. They had to get non-whites to put them on these damn special task force units. They couldn't just have a black face as the mayor or the chief of police, because usually they have a black mayor, black chief of police, and then they have a bunch of white supremacists on these little janky-ass task force organizations. So in the 90s, they started getting non-white people, all right? They started getting some melanated people. I won't say black because a lot of them weren't really black. For example, out here in LA, part of the Crash unit, they start getting some people of color, black folks. One person they got, Rafael Perez. Now, he looks black. Rafael Perez. He was the one who was kind of the big whistleblower who kind of blew up everybody's spot. Rafael Perez was part of the Crash unit, and he was a part of that whole Rampart scandal. Because there was a whole big scandal with Rampart. That Rampart scandal that was out here in LA, that was part of the Crash unit. Part of the scandal was the damn Crash unit. And the unconstitutional targeting that they were doing. So you had Officer Perez, who kind of looked black, but he was really Puerto Rican, and him and some of these other dudes who were, some people believe they were tethers, some of these other black folks. And they got some FBA coons too. Some of the coons were FBA, but a lot of them were tethers. So they got to start bringing the tethers in first. And they had them doing a lot of the dirty work. They were robbing banks and they were doing hits on people. You dig? They start bringing in those non-white members of Crash, and they were like doing crimes. I mean, for real crimes. And some of those dudes involved in the Crash unit, they were implicated in the lawsuit filed by Biggie Smalls' mom. They were implicated in the murder of Biggie Smalls. Do you understand what I'm saying? Some of those dudes from the Crash unit were implicated in the killing of Biggie Smalls. This is how corrupt these dudes are. I'm telling you. So they started in the 90s getting these black faces to be a part of these little task force organizations. You think? And they weren't just doing it out here in LA. You say, was Rafael Perez the inspiration for Training Day? Because remember, Training Day came out right after the Rampart scandal. That's really what it's about, all right? It came out right around the time, right after that Rampart scandal popped off. That was a big story out here, and that's what Training Day was about. Those corrupt cops doing these crimes within the LAPD, and they were getting the black cops, they were screening for coons to do the dirty work. Yeah? But listen, it wasn't just LA. It was in other cities too. In Atlanta, they had another organization similar to Crash, similar to Stress, and then they got a lot of black officers for it. They had something in Atlanta called the Red Dogs. How many of y'all in Atlanta remember them damn Red Dogs? I remember them because I lived in Atlanta before. I lived in Atlanta for a quick minute in the 90s. I lived in Atlanta for a quick minute. Loved Atlanta. But I remember them Red Dogs very, very clearly. And people in Atlanta didn't like them. They were out there beating the brakes off brothers and sisters in Atlanta. Them Red Dogs. And again, that was another acronym. Red. You never heard of. You heard of them. Red Dogs meant red. What was it? Red. What was it? Drug dealers out of Georgia. Red entire drug dealers out of Georgia, something like that. They had the rioters in Oakland. And also, listen, let me go back to LA for a minute. So in LA in the 70s, then they had these they had formal groups and then they had these informal groups. See, the formal groups that they could document were the crash unit people. The informal groups were some of these, the banditos and some of these other little white supremacist deputy gangs that they had to keep off paper, that they had the Latinos doing the dirty work for them. You see? But going back to Atlanta, you have the Red Dogs out there in Atlanta. I seen them dudes hem folks the hell up. And they got a lot of coons. They did some coon screening to get these dudes. Let me show y'all what these dudes were looking like. Here's a story on them in the 90s. Hold on. Where's this story? Where's that story, the Red Dogs? Okay. So this is from 1990. This is from the Atlanta Journal, I think. This is a story from the 90s. Running with the Red Dogs. Look at them. So they get these dudes. This is a story in January 1990. Red Dogs wear black fatigues, heavy black nylon boots, black military-style web gear that runs over their shoulders like suspenders. They're dressed for battle. All right? So they're talking about going around housing projects, looking for drug dealers and all of this stuff. So they were terrorizing people. Those Red Dogs, they got Negroes to do their dirty work. All right? Atlanta's unorthodox police unit makes inner city dopers turn tail. So they always try to frame it, well, they're just going after drug dealers, but they're beating up other people besides drug dealers. And that's why they had to get disbanded. They had to disband the Red Dogs about a decade ago because of all the damn civil rights violations. All right, this is in 2011. They had to disband the Red Dogs. All right? Red Dogs Task Force disbanded after civil rights violation complaints. They just kept doing stuff and the city kept having to pay out millions and millions of dollars. You dig? They have to pay out all of these millions of damn dollars because of the Red Dogs. And let me bring it full circle. Who was over the Red Dogs in Atlanta? Who was over the Red Dogs in Atlanta? The head mammy in charge. This is the chief of police in Memphis. She was over the Red Dogs in Atlanta. This is what they're saying. Sarah Lynn Davis, the woman who's a part of the who's a part of the Scorpion crew who beat up our brother in Memphis. She was, they had her, the head mammy in charge, over the Red Dogs in Atlanta for a long time. She was in Atlanta first, and then she got fired out of Atlanta because there was a scandal where a police officer's husband, a white man, had child pornography, and she sat here and turned a blind eye, putting the cape on for zaddy. So she tried to put the cape on for this dude and not prosecute him, so they had to get her out of there. Memphis police chief fired from previous Atlanta job after botched sex crime probe. Let's look into this. Hold on. She was fired from Atlanta Police Department 2008 for her alleged involvement in a sex crime investigation and the husband of an Atlanta police sergeant. 2 detectives accused Davis of telling them not to investigate Terrell Marion Crane, he's a white man, who was married to Sonia to Tanya Crane after the police department found photos of him with underage girls. So she was a zaddy whisperer. This is what they do. They find these mammies who they know is going to cape for zaddy, and they make them the chief of damn police. And somebody blew the whistle on her ass, and they just hired her as at another agency. That's it. They just hired her at another agency. They just recycle mammies, dude. That's what they do. They get these mammies and these coons, and they have them as the test dummies and the crash dummies. They let them go out here, make a fool of themselves, get fired, and go to another city, make a fool of themselves, go to another. And white supremacy gets to hide behind these people, guys. This is what they do. They get mammy whisperers, zaddy whisperers. They bring these mammies in to protect zaddy. They get these mammies to protect zaddy, just like y'all girl, Fonnie Willis, and people in Atlanta are complaining about Fonnie. I don't want to hear it because I didn't warn people about Fonnie. I had sat here in this chair and damn near had to beg people to not let Fonnie Willis get in office. They didn't found out one of the people from the so-called young YSL, she represented him. She was one of the dude's defense attorneys back in the day. They had video of her in court defending one of the YSL dudes years ago. Yeah, like Keisha Bottoms, another zaddy whisperer. Yeah, they get these mammy. I remember when people were turning up with the George Floyd thing. They had Keisha Bottoms out there. What y'all doing out here tearing up these people's stuff? Up here tearing up CNN. Out there caping for zaddy. So yeah, Fonnie Willis, that's another one. She's a zaddy whisperer. They bring her out here so that she runs interference for them trying to punish zaddy. Remember, she botched those charges against the white dude who killed the brother out there. So she went out there and fumbled it and botched it deliberately. So yeah, they're zaddy whisperers. The name of the game is to get these folks out here and run interference for white supremacy. They're the crash dummies. They get all the bumps and the bruises, and white supremacy is protected. You see? So now in Memphis, with all of this stuff going on in Memphis, you ain't talking about the white cops, none of the white money that's being allocated to fund these damn janky-ass anti-black organizations. Now you're making black people the face of it. They're trying to make black people the face of police brutality when it's really the white people who's funding it. And they got zaddy whisperers out here. You dig? That's the new tactic they're going to use. So we better understand the game that's being played out here. That's why I'm not impressed with a black face in a high place. We have to control the resources, ladies and gentlemen. Who's controlling the money? Who's controlling the resources? If we ain't controlling the resources, we ain't running things. A lot of black folks are saying, well, we need to move back down south. Everybody need to move. All the black people need to move back down south. No, because if we going to move down south and we ain't controlling no money, we might as well stay where we are. We got to move or just be in control of the money where we ain't got to move nowhere. I ain't moving nowhere when y'all got a bunch of dusty Negroes out here running interference for white supremacy, ready to knock your damn head off for a butter biscuit. I'm good. I'm cool. Some big burly Sambos out here, plantation bucks, working for zaddy, ready to knock your damn head off because zaddy got all the money and he's allocating it to these big old burly biscuit-eating Negroes. I'm good. But we're in here heavy tonight. I know we damn about to get 10,000 people in here. Damn the zaddy whisperers. I ain't with all of that blackface and high places stuff. We got to get off that. We got to be all about getting our money and funds allocated towards us. Because what they're doing, they're coon screening a lot of these dudes. They're coon screening the hell out of them. Yeah? And then what they do, just like out here in Memphis, what they wanted to do, they were trying to encourage people to riot. They kept, oh God, we're going to prepare because I think people are going to riot. That's them trying to encourage people to riot. They're like, hey, just get it off your chest. Why don't you riot on our terms? They were out here trying to coax people into rioting. You saw that? They were trying to bait everybody into rioting. People were like, why we riot for what? Oh God, yeah, you guys are going to riot, huh? Oh, we're going to board up the businesses. Oh, God. I bet you guys are sure going to turn up because of what happened to Tyree Nichols. Oh, God, you guys are going to really show out, huh? Not really. No, we're not. They kept trying to egg us on to riot. They were trying to egg us on so we can get it out of our system. So then when the white people have to get back in the position to do the dirty work themselves, we'll have it out of our system, see? And we didn't take the bait. We didn't take the bait at all. Yeah? So we got to understand the games that's being played out here, ladies and gentlemen. We got to understand the game that's being played out here, and we got to be on top of ours because, look, when there's gentrification going on, see, a lot of times they put these people out here when there's gentrification going on. I want y'all to understand how they tie it all in. When white people are trying to take back over certain neighborhoods, they have to go out here and smash down on black society because this is a psychological thing. They have to let you know, hey, you ain't safe out here. They have to let us know, hey, man, you come out here, you never know what we're going to do. You ain't safe, Negro. And this is the dominant society getting on code. There's a video of this white Karen, another suspected white supremacist woman, terrorizing some black children, some black girls. Some black girls, they were at one of their little white friends' homes, and I think the black girls were watering plants or something like that. So a Karen came through, terrorizing the girls, and the girls were crying. All right, now look at this. And listen to what she said. This is the white supremacists understand that they're deputized. I want y'all to understand this. Many of the white supremacists understand that they are de facto deputized. Listen to how she's talking like a cop. These little girls were watering plants. And let me say something about this too. When you have some of these feminists and bedwenches and mammies who sit up here and try to antagonize black men, using terms bullet bags and the white people be harassing y'all black men as if you're safe. That's something you don't play with because black women and even black girls get the same harassment and terrorism. So you're not out of the woods because you think they're not going to terrorize a woman or a little girl. Don't you think for 1 minute you're out the woods. This is a white Karen, suspected white supremacist woman terrorizing black girls like 11 years old. Hold on.
Here's another Karen insulting my daughter. Coming out here, my daughter's been coming here watering plants for 3 weeks while they're out of town. You don't know them. You insulted my child. We live in a neighborhood. Karen, welcome to the internet, Karen. Got little girls crying. Welcome to the internet, Karen. The new Karen. Welcome to the neighborhood, Karen.
I need a name.
I've lived here. You don't need a name. You need to get away. You need to go somewhere. If you don't know, you need to go somewhere, Karen. Out here making little girls cry for watering plants at a friend of ours' house, and you're the new Karen. You need to go somewhere, Karen. Welcome to the internet, Karen.
So she was like, I need a name, an address, and a date of birth. So she's talking like a cop. She's talking like she's a police officer because, truth be told, she is. I want y'all to understand this, black family, black society, understand this. She's talking like a cop. She's talking like an officer because in the system of white supremacy, she is. All people in the dominant society are officers when it comes to you. They understand when the cops come, the cops most likely are going to be on code with her. They're going to be on the white supremacist code. And let me say this to black people. Black folks, you better talk to your kids. We don't need our kids out here that distraught. We need our kids to not be emotional. I understand little girls. I get it. I got little girls. I'm the dad of little girls. We need to have our children game ready so that they're not that distraught, so that they're not that emotional when a situation like that happens, ladies and gentlemen. All right? We better understand that these people know that they're deputized. They understand that they're deputized. Yeah? They understand it. And the kid over there, they had a white little homegirl. They got a white friend. The black girls had a white girl who was their friend. And y'all better teach your children, just because they got white friends, that don't mean that they're out of the woods when it comes to white supremacy. Stop all that crying. Teach your kids to understand racism. At 11, they need to know. My kids are very young. I try to teach them now so that they can understand. Sometimes it's a little harder for young kids to understand because they got white friends at school, they got Mexican friends, but you still need to teach them the game. You better teach them the damn game. You understand? It's real out here. Teach them not to be emotional out here. Yeah, stop that crying. Because crying ain't gonna stop these white supremacists. You better understand how evil some of these folks are. We better have our children ready and prepared. And also, don't let your kids, if you're a black parent, don't let your kids go into these white neighborhoods by themselves. Come on now, I done talked about this many times. Black folks, forget about going in a white neighborhood, just letting your kids run around by themselves, period. That ain't cool. You don't let your children, your black children, walk around by themselves. This ain't like the 70s and 80s when we were growing up. We can be out there kicking it. We were a different breed back then, guys. It was a different breed back then. It was a whole different vibe back then. It was a whole different vibe. We were different back then. Now it's you got too many race soldiers within law enforcement and too many deputized white supremacists, and you don't have enough people in the community that's with the bullshit to neutralize the threat. So you better keep the kids safe, because a lot of these places, they didn't spread us out and we're so dispersed and not codified as we should be. We got to be very careful with the way we move. You know? We got to be very careful with the way we move, family. And family, we got to understand there's no cheat code where you're going to buck the system. Brothers, you're not going to be able to put on a dress and alleviate the brunt of systematic white supremacy. That's the trick that they try to play on you. Every time I turn on the television, I see there's a brother with a dress on. You drive down the street, you go in the hood, you got brothers running around with dresses, man. You got niggas running around here on the track in dresses and flip-flops. That's white supremacy in action, man. Dr. Welsing and Neely Fuller said that was going to happen. The system of white supremacy is going to have black men in dresses. They predicted that long ago. These gender reversal roles, they got men in dresses and women out here in pantsuits, and they got these gender reversal roles out here where they do this in the media. They sit up and tell you can be gender fluid and gender roles don't matter. Let me tell you something. That's something that they promote to you. They promote that to black society heavy. Family, you have a role in the relationship. You do. You can't try to buck nature. You got women out. Let me say this to the sisters too. One thing that I see that I want to stop seeing, and I want to stop seeing sisters do this. I don't want to ever see this again. Where my sisters? Sisters, raise your hand if you're in here. Let me talk to the sisters tonight. Let me talk to the sisters, because there's something that's going to stop tonight. I want to see this no more. Sisters, where you at? Let me see, sisters. My sisters, put a black fist in the air, sisters. Put a black fist in the air, sisters, because I want to talk to you tonight. Let me talk to the sisters tonight. Sisters, put a black hand in the air. We're going to talk tonight, because we got to get this gender thing, this role reversal thing. Okay, I see you, sisters. Okay, sisters. Let me keep it a buck with y'all. What I want y'all to stop doing, I never want to see this again, because I've been seeing this a lot lately. I don't want to see it again. Sisters, Stop getting out here proposing to niggas. Let me say that again. Black women, no, not no bonnets in public, damn that. Stop getting on your damn knee proposing to dudes. Do not do that. Don't ever let us see you do no stuff like that again. Do not do that, sisters. Please stop doing that. I don't ever want to see y'all do that again. I don't know where y'all getting that bullshit from. I've been seeing several videos of this stuff. It ain't a good look. Somebody, I disagree. Nigga, I don't give a damn what you disagree with. Stop getting on your knees proposing to niggas. If y'all don't stop, I wish y'all one of my daughters. I would snatch your ass up by your edges. Stop sitting up here bowing down and proposing. Where the hell y'all get that from? Who told y'all that was cool? Who in the hell told y'all that was cool? What are you doing? Don't do that. I'm going to show y'all a video. This video was so cringeworthy right here. Where this woman was proposing to this dude and he turned her down. He was like, turn the music back on. Look at this. This was embarrassing. Let me play this. This was embarrassing. Look at this. Hold on. Look at this. Hold on.
Can I get y'all support? Yes, you go, girl.
Look at her goofy ass friends egging her on with this nonsense. No, you don't go, girl.
Y'all support? Yes, you go, girl. You got it, girl. What do you think? Oh, so sweet.
I'm talking about. All right, turn it back on.
He said yes?
Nope.
Man, turn the music back on. Hit that music. Hit that music. DJ.
Ain't that shit, What you say, Chad?
Okay. And she got her little goofy friends in here egging her on. The dude didn't say nothing, but he was like, y'all turn the music back on. Ladies, don't ever go out like this. Don't go out like this. No. And don't let your homegirls egg you on to make a fool out of yourself like this. That wasn't it. And let me tell you what she tried to do with this situation. In that video I just played, what she tried to do was put him on the spot. She thought she was going to shame him by putting him on the spot to commit to marriage. She thought she was going to do that to that dude. That's what she thought she was going to do. She know that dude don't want to get married. She got her ass embarrassed, rightfully so. She thought, let me bring him in front of my friends, put him on the spot, and he'll be too embarrassed to say no. That's what she thought. And the brother was like, put the music back on. She tried to shame that brother. You don't do that. That's not your role to sit there, get down on your knee. No, that's emasculating. That sends a very bad subliminal message to the man. When you do that, ladies, when you do that, you get down on your knee and propose to a man, you telling the man, hey, you a bitch. You're telling the man he's a bitch doing that. Do you feel what I'm saying? If you get down on your knee and propose to a nigga, you're telling that man, hey, brother, you're the bitch in the relationship. That's a backhanded compliment to that man. That's an insult. On a subconscious level, that's an insult. Ain't no real dude gonna go for that. Do you understand? That's not cool. Men don't want to be proposed to. Do y'all understand, women? We don't want you to propose to us. What the hell you think this is? Unless you Billy Porter or Lil Nas X or somebody. But men don't want nobody proposing to them. Do you understand? We don't want you proposing to us. We know whether we want to marry your ass or not. When we do, we will. If we don't, we won't. You're not going to force us into marrying your ass. Let's keep it above. We're just going to keep it real tonight. Let's stop playing games. That's embarrassing to that man. She embarrassed that man. And let me tell you something. Let's look back at this particular thing. Let's go deep for a minute. Let's look back at it. Let's look at the video. Let's look at the dynamic. Okay, let's look at the dynamic. Now, let's look at her, look at him, because there's already an unequal balance in the relationship. Now, it looks like, okay. Now, this dude, look at her. Now, this woman right here, she's kind of husky, kind of older. This is kind of a young dude who's relatively in shape, okay? This is kind of a young dude who's relatively in shape. Look at him and then look at her. There's already an unequal balance there. All right? Let me keep it a buck tonight. No, let's keep it a buck. Let's talk real. Okay? Now, this dude is kind of young and kind of in shape. You know what that means? Most likely, this dude was in jail. Most likely, she met this dude in jail. All right? She's trying to play the sugar mama role. Nobody's trying to marry the sugar mama. She doesn't look like, just a guesstimate. The guy is relatively in shape. Really look kind of young. He might be older, but he's relatively in shape. And she's kind of husky and older. Looks like she's one of these chicks who met this nigga while he was in prison. All right? This looked like one of those prison love programs. You meet a nigga in prison. He get out, he stay with you for a minute, and he's just kicking it with you until he get his shit together. You know he's about to bounce, so you're going to try to lock him down before we get the hell out of here. That looked like a prison pen pal. She looks like a prison pen pal. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. She looks like a prison pen pal, dude. Y'all, let's not get into these janky relationships and try to make it something other than what it is. All right? That dude is just kicking it with you until he get himself together. Once he gets himself together, you know he's going to be in the win. I hate to go there. And she knows that. All right, listen. Ladies, when you're older, you're a little husky, get you an older, get you a little Charlie Earl, get you a Percy Earl. Y'all, look, ladies, you can get you a little, you might get your little prison dick here and there, but that ain't gonna last, ladies. Keep it a buck. Get you a Percy Earl. Get you a goddamn Percy Earl. You're not going to go anywhere with prison dick, ladies. That's not going to last. Somebody has to tell you the truth. You got you a trophy nigga, a nigga who was on lockdown. He's in shape. You can parade him around your friends. You go, girl. No, you go to hell and get you a Percy Earl. Go find that nigga daddy and get with his dad. That's what it is, ladies. Stop doing that type of shit. Up here proposing to this nigga. Like, he's thinking, woman, when I get out this work release program, do you know I'm up out of here? Everybody deserves love. You do. You deserve love too. You're husky, you deserve love. I ain't saying you don't deserve love, but play the game in your league. All right? Play in your league. And understand what the situation is. All right? Stop being out here lying to yourself. Don't be out here lying to yourself. This is embarrassing. You're going to try to shame a dude into marrying you. Get you an older gentleman and kick it with that older gentleman. You probably got grown kids. You probably got grandkids or whatever. Get you that older gentleman and kick it. Yeah? Because this ain't it. This is not it whatsoever. Yeah, find Charlie Ray, go down there to the bingo game, find you one of them old players down there who settled down, who got him a little pension going in. You understand what I'm saying? Kick it with Percy Earl and Charlie Ray. They'll do you right. You dig? They'll do you right. You're trying to be America's next top cougar because you ain't got cougar money like that. So that's another thing. See, you can't be like the white women cougars. See, the white women cougars, they're a little bit different because white women, they sitting on a little bit of paper. White women can travel and go get them a nigga from overseas somewhere. You dig? They'll bring a nigga back. See, that was that whole Terry McMillan thing. They tried to sell that to the sisters because that white women, they're good at doing that. They'll go overseas and, bring them back a boy toy, you dig? And set him up. And the boy toy is just, she got him. She didn't set him up and he don't know his way around. You dig? Y'all can't really do that. Y'all ain't got long money like that. The best you can do is go down to Jamaica and a couple of niggas fuck you. But, that's different. The Terry McMillan thing where you're going to bring Winston back. No. Even if you got a little paper. Let's keep it above because what happens is, what did Tara McMillan do? She brought old dude back and he came up here looking for Boochie Cat. She brought the dude up here. You're going to get some bottom of the barrel niggas. You're going to get some niggas with some other stuff going on. Yeah, you can't be cougaring on a budget. No, y'all can't. Ladies, stop it. You can't cougar on a budget. You got some Wish app cougaring going on. No. The white women, they go overseas and get a dude from Sweden or somewhere, or even Jamaica. They'll go get one of them dudes and set him up. That's why you see some of these dudes around here with these accents, and these dudes be all papered up, driving Benzes and stuff. They got them a little white woman that they met on the beach out there in Montego Bay, and she done brought him back and did him right. She set him up. She got him, got him nice set up. You dig? She cougared right on him. She got him set up straight. You dig? Old girl trying to be a cougar on a budget. She gonna bring a dude to a janky ass juke joint. Look at the place she took him to. She took him to a club. She took dude to a damn dusty ass club. Let's look back at it. Let's look back at the video again. Let's look at the picture. This is what I'm talking about. You trying to be a cougar on a budget. She done took this dude to a dusty club, a little juke joint somewhere. Got a Bud Light sign in the back. Hold on. All right. Look at this. She got him in a janky-ass bar, and you going to propose to this nigga in a janky bar like he's a stank hoe. And you wonder why this nigga embarrassed you. No. No, ma'am. You can't be a cougar on a budget. Man, let it go. Find you Willie Ray. Go find Willie Ray and get booed up with Willie Ray. All right? Because this ain't it. This ain't it whatsoever. You dig? Letting him drive your Nissan Altima, you ain't really doing it like that. Niggas are playing for big stakes these days. That ain't it, ladies. Nah. You go down there, you become a prison pen pal. You let this nigga drive your little Nissan Altima around like baby boy. That played out. Niggas want to get papered up for real now. Cats want to get papered up for real now, if that's what it is. Yeah? Ladies, y'all got to do better. Get you an older gentleman and settle down. Get you an older dude and settle down. We don't want to see this type of stuff. We don't want to see these gender reversals going on. We don't want to see it. You dig? Find you somebody, preferably in your damn prime, find you somebody thorough so that you ain't out here trying to cougar on a budget when you get older. You dig? And when you get older, there's still love and there's hope. Just find you somebody who's in your league. Yeah? Go out there and get you a nice, established gentleman. You ain't got to get somebody's granddad, but get you an established gentleman. You dig? Who got it together, who likes a nice, husky woman with a couple of kids. There's some dudes out there who like that. There's some older guys who might like that. Yeah? But don't be Don't be campaigning around the jails. Ladies, come on. This is clearly prison love. It's clearly a situation where she got this nigga in a work release program. Ladies, y'all be out here campaigning for these dudes in jail. Come on. We don't want to see it. We don't want to see it. Anyway, how many people? We got a lot of folks in here. But we had damn near 9,000 people in here. We're in here heavy. Family, listen. The new movie American Maroon is going to be on the FBA stream. As you see the link right there, February 27th. You can watch them. Y'all let you look at my velour suit that the brothers from Peacemaker, they sent. I know I look like a giant Crown Royal bag, but I'm in here. All right. Stan Rejoice. Oh, no. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Oh, no, no, no. No, Cool said no. What I'm telling you is the truth. What I'm telling you is the truth. You know it's the truth. That woman is cougaring on a budget. She's out here going to try to propose to a nigga and she got on a damn Rainbow City trend jumpsuit. No. No, ma'am. And you wonder why the nigga said no. Basically, no. But listen, the new movie American Maroon is coming out February 27th on the stream, FBA stream. Y'all need to sign up for FBA stream right now. Watch all the movies, Hidden Colors 1 through 5, Buck Breaking, 1804. All my movies, a lot of my lectures, the Bucci Bear series, the Crispy series, all of that stuff is on FBAstream.com. Get that. Also, don't forget to get your tickets for the FBA Expo happening in Dallas, May 27th. All right? The FBA Expo, we got a lot of great speakers. We're going to have a lot of great workshops. You can have your family come on out. It's going to be a phenomenal event. That's, is it Labor Day or Memorial Day? One of those days. That weekend, May 27th. All right? Go to FBAexpo.com. Also, the grand opening for the Hidden History Museum happening Saturday, February 25th. We're having a very special private VIP party. Invite only. Details of that is going to be coming up on the Hidden History Museum website. Tickets for that are going to be very, very limited. It's going to be an intimate opening, screening, luncheon, mixer, party. It's going to be a phenomenal event that day. That's on Saturday, February 25th at the Hidden History Museum, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be off the chain. All right? More details on that coming in a couple of days. Anyway, guys, be sure to subscribe to this channel. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm up out of here, man. And I bid you a farewell in the foundational Black American Tunt language. Papiakute.